Now we've gone to 2 countries for the worst teams in FC26. We stay in one of them, but go to the bottom of the division to find Newport County rotting it down in League 2, but they aren't actually English. They are a Welsh side, and by far the worst performing one in the EFL, with Wrexham flying, Cardiff City doing well in the league, and Swansea City in the Championship. Newport County need to rise. Their form has been horrible. So today we take over the worst club in England, which is Welsh, and lift them up to the Champions League. As yes, people, my voice is going. I am full of cold, and there's a drill outside of my window I'm filming at. Maybe not the best time to go on this challenge, but we're going to try and take this Welsh side to Champions League glory, like I said, and the team is not looking good, both in real life and in this save. We've got Jenkins at a 56 rating, Whitmore. Oh my days, this is worse than Bromley's. The cheapest, but hang on, there's a few more players down here. As when we put our best team together, there goes in Glennon. We need to find a way to get Camwer in, as Matt Smith is the best. We've got Bobby Camwer, like I just said. Apoko on loan from Leicester. Matt Baker is only 22. Some decent potential in him. We've got the in-game face of Anthony Glennon and backup goalie Jordan Wright. Both of them last two do play or did play for Grimsby, the team I support, as it is a young squad. We've got a player on loan from Man United and 2 on loan from the other Welsh clubs above us. Yeah, this squad is looking kind of weak, and we really need to get the ball rolling, make Newport better. Maybe we go with scouts, but we've got to check the budget. Or coaches, sorry, to improve this, as before we actually check the money we've got, live points are finally working, and I've put us at the bottom of EFL League 2, which they are currently, and the budget is 846,000. And I've just realised a big thing with live points. We aren't going to be in a transfer window at this moment in time. There you go. We are halfway through October, which I believe in real life they should have just played Harrogate. I think they actually beat them. Manager hasn't been sacked yet. I don't like to say that, but I think it is inevitable. As what also is the fact that we've got to get coaches in. I've gone for 1 in each position, as I don't want to spend all the money right there. I am going to go for scouts in the youth department. They are based in Wales, so we're going to go for Wales to look for some players. Hopefully find the next Gareth Bale. I sacked the 1-star scout we have. I'm going to get Sam Svoboda and hopefully find some decent youth prospects. I am just going to send the scouts out and get immediately to the end of this horrific season. And at the end, this is what's been brought in. Now, I didn't actually get rid of the players that we currently had, so we do have Englishmen in Lance Nichols, but I want the Welsh players doing well. We've got Bryn Pearson, who should be promotable next season, Sian Phoenix, what a name, and Tom Gwynn on the list of potential players. I simmed straight through this season really quickly, didn't have the best of players. We got some growth, including in our keeper, Kanzev, which isn't a good sign. He's still 29, so he's not going to grow much more. We've got growth out of Glennon, Baker, Smith, and Camwer, the most despite being out of position, and Matt Smith. We're going to rely on him. Also, Baker Richardson is seen scoring 17 goals and a +2, but he is 30-year-old. Jed Gardner is 27 and Camwer scored 9. We can change his position to a striker if we wanted to, only 4 weeks, but I'm not set on a formation. And with this guy being very old, the club captain James Clark, I might actually change to a 4 at the back next season. We're not going to look at that this year. We're just going to look how we did. And yep, the 2 worst teams in England. Oldham, like I said, not doing that bad IRL, of course, and Newport. We finished 23rd instead of 24th. But still, that is absolutely pants, and we need to get improving this team drastically. With my club Grimsby Town gaining promotion automatic, get in. Love to see it, and then cup runs could get us a budget going into next year, but straight out in round 1 to Salford in our league. Not even featured in the Carabao Cup. I'm guessing we were out of that using the live points. And at least in this save, Grimsby Town only lost 2-1 to Brentford. Much better than real life. I joke, of course, I don't mind it. And we did get grouped with my club Grimsby in the Virtue Trophy, where we lost to Rotherham 5-2. And next season, I'd like to aim for the playoffs, but I think this is difficult. I think Newport's team is really bad, like worse than Oldham's by a long shot. So this save could be a long one. Buckle up and get ready, as this Welsh team needs to go up, and you could help it by hitting that subscribe button. We're on the road to 70,000 and we really need to get to this Champions League. Hopefully get out of League 2 soonish as 3 million. That's a big step up. We're only expected to finish mid-table, which I think we will. As let's be honest, we're going to improve this team, but it's still a long way off going for promotion. Unless we settle for free agents, which is something I don't really want to do. I do want to come out the deep approach though. Stay kind of deep, but not as deep as 20. However, I like trying new things, and you can see we've got the 4-5-1 flat. I know it's kind of defensive, but if we get the man in the middle kind of sitting back and go with 2 attacking playmakers, it's kind of different to what you expect it to be. Like it's ready to spring, like it's ready to counter-attack. As a defense, we could maybe leave 1 season. Because I want to work on the midfield, I feel we do need 2 centre mids, a right mid, and hey, I know he's 62 rated, but maybe even another goalkeeper alongside the promotion of some of these players. Now, we do have the Englishman and the Austrian we can promote, but the others, apart from the Irish Donnelly, not ready to just step up yet, but we still do have our scout. To Wales he goes to look for a striker and through that midfield line. Maybe even finding the next Bale, although that is a right wing position. I'd love him to do that, as let's youthen up this squad when we go for midfielders still, to climb our way through the division, and with Hearts being a very good team at the moment. No, he's not Welsh, he's actually from Scotland, but Macaulay Tate, he's going to be our first of the 3 midfielders. And he can play centre-back if needed, so that's why I bought this man. Swiss Army knife. However, this is where we've got to be careful. We've only got 1.7 due to his contract. As on the right-hand side, someone cheap, 62 rated Tom Sparrow. He signs on the dotted line, so that's the out wide midfielder covered, leaving just 1 more to go, and I'm never going to be able to get this second guy's name right, so I'm just going to call him Vimal the Welshman. Or have I made out that it's harder to actually say? Is it Yoga Nathan? Is that it? Is the man who's come from Barnsley, and I believe he was with Oldham in the National League. Swear I saw him playing that final. Voices going, we've got 2 left footers, Sparrow, who we signed. I didn't actually realise he's Welsh as well, which is a nice convenience. Shepherd can come off for Thomas, who is younger, 25. Defense definitely needs improvement still. However, this squad is a lot better than it was last year. We've got Matt Smith carrying, same as Yoganathan, then Camwa, then Baker Richardson. Growing a lot for an old player, and I didn't show it on camera because I wanted to show it at the end of the season, but the scout said the players were urging to actually leave. So I had to go in there, I had to make sure I promoted them, and then when I promoted them, it was like January, so I actually loaned them out. Gavin Burns, +7, same as Michael Demery. I made sure I got them all out in January because this season I've just simmed has been a long one off screen that you guys haven't seen. I made sure I got them all out, and then Baker Richardson made sure he got 23 goals with Camwa 14, Sparrow 9. However, despite the extra care put into this rebuild, we still finish 15th, which is kind of what the board wanted in mid-table. 60 points and obviously an improvement with improved players. Salford City, rock bottom, with Crew who were in the playoffs. That just shows how one team can go from 0 to hero and vice versa. So hopefully we do the opposite. We go up next season and face Crew, who actually beat us 3-0 in the FA Cup as the Carabao. Wickham beating us 4-2. Oh dear, this isn't good. And at least we did go through in the Virtue. Did we get a run? Well, we did. Hopefully some money for reaching a round against Wimbledon. As like I said, this team, it's just got the defense to actually improve. And if we do improve on some certain players, the 3 rule that I keep to could come in play. And let me explain that as I actually check if the board agree with what I'm saying. The 3 rule is yes, they actually want us to win the league title? That escalated quickly, but my 3 rule is within 3 seasons in a division, gotta survive, gotta stay, then got to go up and sight promotion, which I'm hoping we do. 2 million, less than the 3 we had last year. However, significantly better players, and yes, just the defense needs help. As midfielders, got Pritchard back, Burris, Demery, who is the same rating as Sparrow, and I believe, yes, a lot younger. So he's going to be popped into the team. We've got Baker Richardson now getting older. So my thought is Camwa up front, Sparrow on the left. Leaves us 2 strikers as backups and a significantly stronger bench than last year's, which we need to improve upon. And in order to improve upon some players right now, with 2 strikers on the bench, we could try and cash in on Courtney Baker Richardson at 31. Same as Tanzev, because I am going to be buying a better keeper. The Kiwi can go back. Maybe to Australia. And Brennan, he's 27. Sell players in their prime, as we've got another player heading into it here. Could make him a striker, but I'm going to go right mid with Gavin Burris, who could be that next Bale that we spoke about at the start of the video. I'd love to have a youth player in this first 3 seasons that will grow to the Prem with us, as our first sold player in this save is Liam Shepherd going to Wimbledon. Not too much money, but Courtney Baker Richardson on the other hand. What a move to warm the bench at 31 over at Preston North End. Then Kieran Brennan, I believe, has gone to the Danish league, but I could be wrong, stepping us to 3 million because I had to sign up some contracts, and like I said, the majority of the normal players who started were less than £1,000 a week, and with Brennan going, centre-back has to be priority. And whilst we are in these early stages, I do like to prioritise Welshmen, with this being a bit of a statement, signing from the league above Peterborough, Nevitt, George, I think he looks decent, 21 left-footed centre-back. With the rest of the money actually going elsewhere, we're going over to Austria, which I'm surprised we can sign from, for Ronan Capaccio, a right-back, who I believe made the move from Cardiff City. A controversial move because I obviously know there is a bit of tit for tat with Cardiff and Newport, but Capaccio is here. From Wolfsberger, 1 point, what was it? I wrote it down, 1.2. Nevitt at the side of him is 69 rated now, only 22 on the wrong side. As when we switch it over, Tanzev we couldn't actually sell from the club, but he's definitely the next out. We've got Camwa now a striker, Sparrow now on the left, Anthony Glennon could be improved. Yoganathan in the middle, one of the best midfielders alongside the right-hand one, Michael Demery. He submitted a transfer request thinking he's too good for the club, +8 as our starter now. 1 youth player is in from the start, but now I need to check the loans. We've got Ryan Richards, Burris, and on my days, Reece Lawrence looks a decent striker. If we could make him one, we've got a 66 Emmy Pritchard, but the goals, we've got Camwa getting 33, Tate getting 16. Matt Smith, the new captain, double digits. He's going to stay despite being 28, but Anthony Glennon, like I said, might move on. With this team really growing, we've got him in the team of the year with Camwa, which is a surprise. No Grimsby players in the league above, unless relegated, and there we go. We finished top of the playoffs, so no, we didn't win the league title. We were close, but not quite there. And Grimsby were actually back down in this division. 57 points. Not good enough. I'd love to sign players from Grimsby, but I don't think we've got any Welshmen. As Emirates FA Cup, round 2, losing to Plymouth Argyle, we might play next year. In League 1, if the 3-year rule goes right, and we were beaten by their rivals and our league winners, Exeter City, in the Carabao Cup. Virtue we don't care about, and Plymouth again, a big shocker. However, in the League 2 playoffs, 4-3 over Gillingham, Barrow beating Walsall 4-1, and we beat them 4-3. High scorers all over the playoffs, as there we go, we've done it. With Newport's going up to League 1, a league I think we're really ready for. If we do get maybe 2 more players in the defence, and in goal, maybe the 3 rule could go out of the window entirely, as Huddersfield, Bolton, Blackburn, Blackpool. I'm trying to eye out single threats because I'd love to actually fly through this division. For this to be our 4th season and our first in League 1's kind of embarrassing. Yes, it took us 3 seasons like I said, but still only 3 mil. That is not good enough, and we do have a lot of players at the club. We've got some very good youngsters in Yoganathan. I never realised he was that young. Smith isn't. However, I am going to keep hold of him. Camwa's got a transfer request in, and we could do a Baker Richardson. Sell Bobby, get a better player up top, but it is goal I'm definitely prioritising first. Tanzev straight on the transfer list, going to get rid of him, and that 3 million could all go on a shot stopper. But I want to keep him as a backup, and Matt Smith from Lecce, 7.8 million. Are the Italian club alright? As much as I wanted to keep him, as much as I wanted him as our leader, I didn't even want to negotiate. I was not missing up on 7.8 million, as I'm also not missing on $500,000 for Nick Tanzev, and a little bit of extra pocket change for Lance Nichols, a failed wonder kid, showing not every wonder kid works out. And this is another big move in terms of the squad movement. Tom Davies to Malby. The winners of the Alsk event, as now we're going to look at left back. We're going to definitely look in goal first, and maybe we trust Pritchard as a midfielder, but I'm not certain on that. So goalkeeper, going to still look young. And I am going to look overseas, or not overseas, technically attached but up north. This man isn't Harry Potter, but his name is actually Daniel Radcliffe. One letter off the actual Harry Potter actor. Let's hope he's as magic in goal as the main man himself. So let's get him in between our sticks straight away. We do have Lawrence on the bench. A very good option on either wing if we change one of these youngsters to the other side. So Gleno's going to come onto the bench. And yeah, centre-back maybe, but I am going to look at midfield before that. Maybe even young striker, but we've only got 6 million. That is 2 million each player, and I'm going to try and dance through these signings. We need to get them in and pin them into the squad as we go for Victor Nowak and Filip Luberecki. Actually more expensive than I thought, these two. And like I said, I didn't expect to actually win the League 1 trophy, which we didn't do in League 2. We bottled it. Boo-hoo. But this time we don't. We've gone ahead and Wickham Canny Catchers. We've won League 1 at the first time of asking, dancing straight through this division. With 27 wins on paper, that's the first thing that caught my eye. I had to show the table. And in round 3 of the FA Cup, we played a Premier League team. Bournemouth scoring 2 goals against them. Then in the Carabao, it was Preston. Please tell me Courtney Richardson, whatever his name was, didn't score. That would be gutting. We've done a thing we hardly ever do in career mode, winning the Virtue Trophy over Bolton. Get in! So that is 2 for 2 in this season, and it's the final time we can play in the Virtue. So a big win. And look at that. TBD's surely going to get promoted to the Championship as well. Only joking. It means to be decided as Camwa. What is going on, my friend? You've gone to an 80 rated at 29. A lot of OGs are growing in this. We've got Baker in the defense that stayed, but apart from that, every other outfield player is different. But yeah, +8 for Bobby Camwa. He must have scored a lot of goals. That is obscene. Definitely going to sell him next season. With Vimal Yoganathan up to a 78. And only 23, Daniel Radcliffe, Harry Potter's regen, 19. Tate is only 23. Capaccio is only 21. The young team that we've built is extraordinary. And Camwa, yep. 32 goals, hence why his growth has gone up magnificently. And a 7.43 rating in all games is absolutely phenomenal. And he's actually got an offer in. Who are trying to buy this man? Well, look at that. We've actually rejected some by simming the seasons. And Fenerbahce, £47.9 million. And whether it's by bird, by plane, by car, by train, I am getting rid of this man. He is going to Fenerbahce. And I am cashing in, as when we sim to the side, I don't think it said we get all the money for him, but look at that. We've made a lot of dough off Camwa as 48 million from selling an OG player who was quite old when we actually got him. Dynamic potential mod, what can I say? It's helped us massively, as I think we definitely don't need a striker. No, I'm only joking. Up front, defense, maybe in midfield once more, depending on how our business goes. Now, we do have a Welsh regen on the wing, but I'm going to check Wales once more because I feel like we can get the best Welsh players. As now, can we go straight from League 1 to the Premier League in 2 seasons time, spending all that time in the lower divisions? As Ethan Ampadu would be a nice buy. Yes, he's only 28. It was 8 years ago he had this long hair with his ultimate scream card, but I'm going to bring him to Newport. I want that experience in this division, and plus I'm playing tactically now because Leeds United are in this division. I'm trying to take off a rival to hopefully jump above them and take their place in the league. With the formation, although I did have it in mind when we got to the Championship, I'd change it. I'd add wingers, has worked very well for us so far. So I'm going to keep it the same, but you might realise Ampadu is a CDM, displaying another reason that I bought him, because only 2 weeks to a centre-back, and with that 81 physical, 77 defending, 67 pace, which is a bit off. I think he's going to hit like an 81, an 82 once he changes. However, he is not going to have the captain's armband. I'm going to keep that on Matt Baker. As Sparrow, I never realised, is 74. He's hiding out on that wing. But no, I'm not going to sign anyone else there. I'm going to give him a little bit of pressure through Reece Lawrence on the wing, because I do want to use these youth still. And I do want to spend roughly the 30 million on a very good striker, but I don't want to spend over 15 million on one player because it's unrealistic for the championship. Maybe even breaking FFP rules, so Gardner's going to come to the bench. We could still do with another bench striker and maybe a bench goalie as well. So backup goalie, I'm going to go for the experience of Jamie Cumming, with the backup striker Mitajovic, and the starting striker from the MLS, Archie Goodwin. Just getting the business done, zip-zap, like that. And it's kind of a shout-out indirectly. My man Goodwin, he's up front for us. 88 pace and an 80 rating, which is brilliant. We've got some very decent ratings, including Ampadu, Demary, Kapakiao, Nowak left behind. One of the Polish men in our team, as the other one's doing well, Dubreki, who I almost sneezed even saying the name of. And then Lawrence can take over Sparrow. It's 2 youth players on either wing. Nowak could be replaced by Ampadu, but actually, Ampadu, I do want at centre-back, and potentially as our captain next year. But still, I'm going to make this change. 81. Okay, I really did expect more than that. Bit anticlimactic, but he is one of the highest rated players, probably in the division, as Archie Goodwin, +5, scoring 22 goals. And Nowak I do want to keep hold of, because he got 11 and 9 assists, but he probably won't be a starter next year. We've got a lot of changing to do going into the second season of Championship Ball. We actually had 17 million unspent, and we did gather 80 points, finishing top of the playoffs and a chance of the Premier League if we're really careful. But do you know what else I'd like? A cup run. Very unlucky. Liverpool 4-1 on penalties. I'm guessing they didn't play the kids this time, like they did the other day in the Carabao. I've got to say, what was Annie Slot thinking? And what are we thinking, getting beat in the Carabao Cup by Cheltenham Town of League 2, who beat Newport the other day in real life? Sorry to bring that up, real life Newport fans, but you do, in this simulation, beat Sheffield United in the semi-finals of the playoffs. And I didn't expect that. We have done what I said earlier on. The worst club in Wales goes from League 1 to the Premier League within 2 seasons. Back-to-back promotions, baby. And let me check this division. Swansea. No Swansea here. No Wrexham at the bottom. It was West Ham. There is no Cardiff City as well. Meaning Newport are finally the best team in Wales. Not the worst. And not the worst budget of all. 42 mil for our first season here in the Prem. What is it? Our 6th? Or 7th season? Don't say the meme. Don't say the meme. With this team. So Nowak's out. I'm going to put Pritchard in for now, who will still be on the bench, but replaced. I'm liking the young players. Goodwin does have a decent backup. I do want to keep him here for now. And Baker, a little bit on fraud watch. At the back, because I didn't introduce you to the second string striker. This is Mijatovic, who, yeah, is pretty decent. Not amazing, need I say any more? No play styles on him, but when I do search for the man we're going to replace shortly, Emir Pritchard, look at him. He's got 7 out of 7 playstyles available, being chip shot, dead ball, block rapid trickster, relentless enforcer. If only he was actually good at football. He could have been useful for us, as now we can sign a centre mid from literally anywhere. No borderlines on the country we can go to. And Gustavo Albarracin, genuinely the first player popping up when I look in La Liga. And I don't see any better. Mikel Yaragida, but he's brilliant. And there's no chance he's joining us. So yeah, I'll kind of cheap out because this man's not too expensive overall. And that's a shrewd signing. Is he the same rating as Nowak? Yes, but I like it. Now, I think we're going to have to play one out to actually get one in with Baker. He's a nostalgic player, transfer request in, and he's probably past his prime when we do have George Nevet. who could grow more than him if he gets a bit more game time. Ahead of Baker, as at least Brighton are putting the checkbox out for him as he leaves his home country Wales to go to Brighton for almost 40 actually. Damn, I didn't see it was that much, as we're getting a lot of transfer requests in for our smaller players. One big one, Daniel Radcliffe, but I am not selling him to Newcastle, and I'm also not selling Anthony Glennon. I don't want to be signing a backup left back with 59 million now. We don't need scouts, we don't need coaches at all. As talking about Glennon got me thinking about Philippe Luberecci, but if he grows one more, he is in the 80 club and he's safe in the team, as we do need a safer centre-back pairing. And I haven't even said it yet, but we do need to survive in the Premier League, and I think in order to do that, we need to bring in a very famous face to help us. This is Belosian, who is actually from, I believe, Leverkusen. We found him over at Strasbourg in Ligue 1 at an 84 rating, and he's gone up +3. We did pay a lot of money for that man, as well as Lawrence, who we only had to pay a scout for, to an 85. Jogan Nathan to an 86. He's a fellow Welshman. He's a bit more attacking minded. On the bench, we're pretty sorted. We've got 2 wingers. Maybe Burris needs a little bit of a replacement. Maybe we do sell Gleno to get someone younger. Now we're in the Premier League, and you can understand the signing of Januel Belosian, because if we didn't make that, Lawrence didn't grow, we'd only have Jogan Nathan and Kapaki to really depend upon. Being youngsters, Ampadu's not young. Goodwin is 26. We've really got to keep looking for some more youngsters, and not many goals from Archie. 17, which is quite a few. Maybe next season we sell our bench striker. Keep Goodwin as that backup man. Get someone really world-class in, because our midfield's doing well as well. We've got Nowak and Albersan, if I can say that name, rotating. And then we've got Demery on the other wing to Lawrence, grabbing 14 goals. No idea how he's actually done better than the other guy, Lawrence, on the other wing, but not got as many goals as Goodwin, 15. Into the top scorers, no assists, and the clean sheets is always messed up. Yes, these players aren't goalkeepers. How are they popping up on clean sheets? Fix that EA, as all my days Baker and ourselves have had rough seasons, and we stole the captain of Leeds to avoid relegation by 2 points, letting Leeds United go down, all on the same as -16. Not a very good season. We're the best team in Wales, but if Newport continues like this, we'll be back in the Championship and with them fellow Welsh clubs, so we've got to improve, as one of them reached the semi-finals of the FA Cup, Hollywood FC. We were beaten by Aston Villa. And in the Carabao, Brentford. Don't remind me of the game I just had to go to. Grimsby Town in the Carabao, that's all I'll say. Let's go back to Newport, back to getting better players. As is it time to switch formation? Lawrence's shooting is down, but he can play further forward. He's got the pace of a winger, same as Demery, and we do want the next Gazabaza. And Bale wasn't really a player that sat back. He got forward. He ran at defenders, which I think it is time that we did. I am going to stick with a flat formation, though. The 4-3-3 flat, so the only change is the wingers, who I am going to make. I know this is Goodwin. I'm going to change it, but I am going to make inside forwards go into this. So we're sticking with that holding midfielder and 2 attacking playmakers. As we know, Jogan Nathan can attack, and Gustavo's got 80 shooting. I expect goals, and I expect improvement from Michael Demery being a winger, and Lawrence the same, although it's going to take a long time with him, and I don't know why. Tom Sparrow might beat him to that position and play in it, which wouldn't be great, as let's change that around. Lawrence takes the -1 hit. I'm okay with that because it actually makes the team better. As signing-wise, if we do improve the defense, I don't want to really replace Daniel Radcliffe. Or maybe we go with the striker play, because we don't have much money as it is. We've only got 34, so if Goodwin or Mijalovic leaves, we've got to get ready to cash in on them and get a world-class centre-forward who can be carrying our attack for us, as that looks a decent swap deal for Alfie Devine. But no, Welsh spine. Yes, like I said previously, came from Cardiff. Not directly, but I do want to keep Welsh players whilst I can. Loving the Welsh theming, and not loving selling Anthony Glennon, but Grimsby released him in real life, so I have no problem actually selling him with Newport here. Goodbye and good luck, as Macaulay Tate hang about 20 million plus Yeremi Doku at 85 rated, as the drill goes off outside of my room. Now, this is something I'm actually thinking about, because I know I do just say I want to keep Welsh players around all the time, but if we sell Tate get Doku in, sell Lawrence. We'll have about 100 million left, with more to spend on a centre mid and striker individually. He knows how to play as a winger, and I am very excited to see his playstyle plus begin to shine. And it's also worth saying thank you to Macaulay Tate. He was our first signing, but this man's a lot better, and we have another one to leave. Lawrence, who's the Welsh youngster. Yes, it's going to be hard to actually sell him, but plans have fallen into place with Demery now a winger. Keeping plans in place slightly, and this man doesn't even have good shooting. 142.7 million for our Welsh wonder kid from Atleti, who of course don't have any experience of spending money on ridiculous players like Alvarez and Joao Felix. No, they've never wasted money. As now let's see this budget. 188 million, 2 positions needed after 1 bench one. We've got Andre Borza coming in with some playstyles to back up at left back because Glennon left his bench position before moving on to the midfield. Now this guy's got playstyles similar to Doku, Petar Susic of Lombardia, or Inter, a Champions League team, as Stuttgart not in Europe, so I've capitalised on our new striker, Conrad Harder. And this team, it's enough to make a grown man cry. 90 rated Harder. Then we've got 2 good wingers either side of him. Yes, one old, one middle-aged in their prime, and then one younger one with younger Nathan, Albracin, the attackers, and then we've got Ampadu and Belasian. Supporting Radcliffe, who I thought would be better, the goalkeeper down here, submitted a transfer request. Oh no. Oh no, that's never a good sign at all. Then again, can't see his clean sheets. Can see Harder only scored 11. 11 the same for Demery. And then Goodwin got 10 off the bench. Or scrap that. It looked the opposite way round. It looked like Goodwin was playing and not playing well enough to get us over 12th. That is an absolutely embarrassing season with our players that we've signed. Oh my days. And then Wolves go down, Ipswich. And I really expected to be in the Champions League this year. Crystal Palace have done it. A team that were in the Championship with us when we did win that playoff campaign. And seemed to just be one step ahead of us as Norwich beat Newport in the FA Cup. Birmingham beat Newport in the Carabao. And I'm saying it like third person because I don't recognise the team we've actually crafted. Is it the bench? Is it these players here? Are they not good enough? Do ratings lie to us? Is 31-year-old as a centre back too old to reach the prime? All classes past their prime as Tom Sparrow. Look at that change he's made as well, man. Should have made that earlier, but I'm pretty sure that didn't cost us a lousy campaign. Last time out, maybe the amount of players did. We've got 35. Who, yes, I'm going to release, and then I'm going to give the current players better contracts. Hopefully that works as a motivational thing. Certainly did with Wrexham's rise. Fantastic jumpers. Our lowest rated now is Emir Pritchard with all those play styles and shiny red boots he had on us. 49. We didn't even spend that much on contracts, as most players were set up and they were signed up. It's just performance-wise, we are not getting the best out of the lads, and we need to finish in a Champions League spot, which the team should be doing. Maybe I've gone a little bit too imbalanced. The approach a bit higher. We're going 70, and we'll go with counter. Yeah, counter. I was going to go short passing. The inside forwards I do rate. As now I'll go 2 ball playing defenders, both fullbacks, and I'll reverse it. We'll have the middleman, the playmaker, the other 2 deep line for build-up, covering the defense a little bit more, Sucic and Albracin, who I did think about replacing until he got that massive increase. And I'm coughing whilst I'm speaking, as yes, he's got better shooting than Yoga Nathan, but the CDMs can still score because that's what he's basically playing, a CDM position. And we could go with a tactical vision, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go to the coaching management, as yes, we've got brilliant coaches, but I haven't really bought many more because we rose that quickly. So fill them positions we will, and we're going overboard in the midfield. Now we're trying a new tactic there. And sometimes it is not about signing players, but signing them coaches to get the right mentality and growth out the squad. Third, and we were only 3 points off the title in Chelsea we were chasing, then Liverpool, then us taking that Crystal Palace spot, meaning these lads go into the Champions League. And can you really blame them with the ratings? We've got 2 90s up front, an 89 Yeremi Doku with Sparrow as backup, an 88 rated Goodwin on the bench. We've got Ampadu, Belosian. Fullbacks could do with a little bit of work, or tweaking, even selling, but I don't like going fullbacks. It always seems like in saves, recently, going for fullbacks, did in the Panathinaikos save. With Yoriel Hato as Conrad Harder, I always said I'd sign this man, and he does fit nicely in a Newport kit. I do love it. I said it when Grimsby played them early in the season. If I could pick one kit for our club to have which isn't black and white, I'd definitely go with that one. Maybe not the same sponsor as the drill outside of my room's going mental. Have we got a player of the year coming third? Please, Shevchenko. No, it's Bradley Barcola. I'm guessing in the Chelsea ranks. As what about the team of the year? Right, one of our fullbacks, the right-hand-sided one, is in it. Maybe Capaccio stays. As no trophy, Matt Baker's going to win one with Brighton. And again, Wrexham reached the semi-finals. They're really putting us to shame in the domestic cups. As I'm not bothered about looking where we are going into the Champions League. We're nowhere to be seen again in the Carabao. Yep, Coventry. But one thing I'm actually interested in is how Crystal Palace did in the Champions League. Unexpected underdogs like us, and they got beat by Paris Saint-Germain. Fair enough. Did Paris Saint-Germain win it? Oh my god! Oh my days! Copenhagen against Barcelona? Never call me unrealistic ever again in a save. Copenhagen versus Barca. That is absolute madness. Makes me think we can win this now. 107 million to spend, and I'm not going to check for world-class left-backs. I'm checking a club. I can't even find the league I'm actually looking for. That's how much of a shock this has been to the system. Here we are, Copenhagen in the 3F Superliga of Denmark. Getting to the Champions League finale, a gear. They've got 1 80-rated player, 2 80-rated players. Right, 4 of them. The centre-back is Oliver Sorg. He reached the UCL finale, and I hope they actually won it. I'm going to have to check the Super Cup to see if they did. Oh, but no, they didn't. Right, they're going to be playing in Cardiff, which is a Welsh Super Cup final. Shame we didn't reach it, but we aren't even in the Champions League yet. Till we're playing it this season, as the board want everything winning. We've gone from the worst team in Wales to the team expecting to win everything. That is a pretty good feeling, if you ask me, as now left back, like I say, is really the only position, and I'd feel guilty, A, replacing Filip Luberecki because he's been so good for us, and B, stealing from Copenhagen. Just the run they went on, they depended on 4. Agaya, Costa, Mokoku, and Mujahid, who is even on his way out. He is 33, and yeah, we don't really need a striker. So Petr Costa would be a waste of money. He's not even as good as Goodwin, and Goodwin's only just got into the Champions League. Madness. The fact he's on our bench is even more madder. So yeah, we've got 2 quality strikers. Now I'm just going to look for maybe a 90 rated to boost the squad. And I've gone defensive minded. Actually quite young, not 90 rated, but Jonathan Heelig from Austria. He's got 95 potential, and obviously better than Nevitt. He is amazing. 89 physical, something I usually struggle for with strikers, but he doesn't get Ampadu out of the team right now. However, Ampadu is 32. He will be out soon because he's getting older. Is our leader, as I want to check the leaders in management. Any surprising moves here? Well, not really. No one making a huge move. There's Wrexham leaving, or maybe even getting sacked, but that would be harsh to sack their manager after 2 FA Cup semis. With the Premier League, I've got to say, looking completely different now we're in it. We've got Amorim at Manchester United, and that's about it. What a weird league table. And hey, to get in the team of the year last year and then not be as good, Capaccio, that is weird. For him to not get an increase like Luberecki. On the other side, then we've got Doku. Well, we've got almost 5 90 rated. No, scrap that, 7 90 rated players in this Newport County squad, which I know I used the word, or overused the word, unreal, but it is. And Conrad Harder, top of the tree at 95. I believe he resides at Benfica or Sporting at the start of your save. If you are looking to sign him straight away, we do have Michael Demaray. That rhymes, and you can't sign this man, but he can be reminiscent of that man, Gazabaza. We finally got him. Regen Gareth Bale, as you can see, in the Premier League table as well. Second, almost could have won us the league because they're actually joint on points, actually. A lot of actually use right there. You can tell I record these videos off the cuff. There's no script going into this. And I wish there was. I wish there was a script to give us 3 more points, because then we would have actually won the league. And Charlton in the FA Cup finale. It happened last time out or the time before in our Southampton save. But Championship clubs love an FA Cup run. I mean, there's 3 of them right there, and we lost in the quarters to Man United. We've been terribly domestically in these cups, and there's another example. The Carabao over to Spurs. Womp womp. But hey, I don't see Spurs anywhere here. I do see Conrad Harder's ex-team Sporting. Maybe they had a sell-on clause from when we bought him from Stuttgart and invested it into a good team, as we beat Club Brugge 5-1. We then beat Chelsea 4-1, and then got drawn against the best team in the tournament, Sporting, to beat them 4-2. It's going to be an English derby, or no, it's not, because we're Welsh. It's going to be a kind of local-ish derby. It's all in the east, or is it west of the UK? I don't really know my directions, but it's a very good Liverpool team trying Florian Wirtz as a striker. I caught the Carabao Cup the other night, and I saw how he played the kids did Slot, so maybe he's losing his mind again. Then again, I don't think Slot was in charge of Liverpool, so it's a weird decision by whoever the gaffer was. And can we get an early lead here? Demaray cuts inside! Brilliant save by Mamadashvili. Staring at his defence that just let us through, as we've got good defenders. I have kept Ampadu in this squad as the captain leader legend, with our Austrian fella on the bench, as we need to get out there, make a tackle. Ethan Nwaneri dancing round. Another big move going from Arsenal to Liverpool, as Wirtz. Now he's brilliant to use in FC26. Use him a lot in Ultimate Team as Luberecci. Brilliant tackle. Only as far as Nioni though, and these are a good team, but Conrad Harder for a striker. That is a brilliant ball around the corner to Doku. Doku gets in close. Another brilliant save, Mamadashvili. So close, yet no real big chances in this first half, apart from them saves by Mamadashvili. No big chance running through on goal, but this could be it. It's Albriasan in the bottom corner. Speak of it, and it will arrive. Big arms. Flexing off after making a absolutely brilliant run. He's not even on a box crasher roll, but that certainly is a box crasher finish. Picking that gap and just going for it, as hang on, Liverpool switching off just before half time, and it was almost a little gap for Jeremy, but there goes the whistle, giving us the ball back from kickoff, and Yoga Nathan calming it down, going backwards into Susic. Ampadu just need to look for the gaps here, and there is one. Albriasan finds Jeremy Doku. He's close to scoring. Madness from the Georgian. He's been absolutely unreal this game. Terrible delivery though, and Nioni gives it onto Wilson Odobert. Come on, they don't deserve it. And Jones is around. Oh my days. I can't believe. I was going to say, I can't believe he's not past it. And then this goes in. Ratcliffe. Honestly, you are not magic. You magically got out of the way. How are you not saving that with your feet? I just can't believe that really went in, and it's going to send us to added time. I know it, as Harder not really got into goal-scoring opportunities, but as a team we haven't, and we needed that spare run, but it's going to be Susic, and Susic scores! It is the defensive midfielders in this formation that have us sitting in front. It is a brilliant drill from number 29, straight through on goal, and straight into that top corner. Here's me expecting added time, and it still could be at this rate. We've got to block that passing lane off, and Ampadu does. Could we get another one? It was just another box crashing run. Doku with the very pacey run. I need to try and whip this in if I can. Very decent run by Harder. And yes, I know it wasn't Harder going for the header, but he took the man away in the middle to open up a bit of space. A little bit of space for Liverpool to run into here. Nwaneri chipped. Don't give handball, referee. He's gave it against them. Yes, he has. And if we just pass this backwards to Ratcliffe, if he can control it and whack it, that is it. Newport County, the worst team in Wales, become the best team in goddamn Europe. Glorious scenes pouring out around the Veltins Arena, as it's going to be Ethan Ampadu to lift it. Of course, I kept him as the captain. Being a Welshman, I love it. The captain's armband and all. The frizzy hair, which I've grown to love. I know he doesn't have it in real life, and that might not float everybody's boat because it's unrealistic, but I tell you what, if you don't think these are realistic, maybe a different rebuild suits you. I've got big teams, I've got everything, but YouTube are trying to twig into you to tell you these two videos right here are recommended for you and you might like.